My son, my daughter, I know your pains. I see the wounds you try to hide, those that hurt more than any physical pain, the wounds of the soul. Today, I want you to know, I am here to heal your broken heart. Every tear you have shed, I have kept. I know that some wounds are deep, but I also know that nothing is impossible for me. It is written, I heal the brokenhearted and bind up their wounds. Psalm 147, verse 3. Every pain you carry, I have already taken upon myself on the cross. Your heart may be broken for many reasons. Broken family relationships, the loss of a loved one, the betrayal of someone you trusted. I know all these wounds, and I want to heal each one of them. Trust in me, for I am the God who restores what is broken. What seems impossible to you is possible for me. Let's talk about these wounds, and you will see that where there is pain, I can bring healing. Child, I know that many times you try to hide your pains. You wear a mask for the world, trying to appear strong, but inside you, the wounds are screaming. Do not be afraid to be vulnerable before me, for it is in the recognition of wounds that I can begin the healing. I invite you. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11, verse 28. When you give me your pains, I begin to work on them. Remember the woman at the well? She was emotionally wounded because of broken relationships, but I met her and offered her living water. I said, I know who you are, and yet I offer you healing. Now, do the same. Acknowledge your wounds before me. You do not need to be perfect to receive my healing, only honest. That is how I work. When you try to hide your wounds, they end up rooting even deeper in your heart. I know every tear you have shed in silence, every pain you have tried to stifle. But, child, hiding these wounds only prolongs the suffering. I am ready to heal them, but I need you to bring them to light, for it is in the honesty of your soul that true healing begins. Think about how a wound in the body needs to be cleaned before it can heal. So it is with your heart. Trust in me and allow me to reveal what you have kept hidden for so long. As I said in John 8, verse 32, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Acknowledging your pain is the first step to the freedom I want to offer you. Look at the life of David, a man after my heart. He carried guilt and deep wounds for his mistakes, but instead of hiding them, he brought them before me. In Psalm 51, David prayed, Cleanse me with hyssop, and I will be clean. Wash me, and I will be whiter than snow. Just like David, you too can be purified when you surrender your pains and weaknesses to me. Healing does not begin in hiding, but in sincere surrender. Close your eyes now and imagine placing each of these wounds at my feet. Give them to me, one by one, and I will begin to work in your heart, just as I did with David. Child, part of healing lies in the act of releasing forgiveness. I call you to forgive, not because the other deserves it, but because you deserve the peace that comes from that gesture. Forgiveness is a key that opens the door to your emotional freedom. When you hold on to hatred and resentment in your heart, those heavy emotions suffocate your soul and hinder my light from shining in your life. It is like a wound that, if untreated, can become infected and cause more pain. I want you to understand that, as it is written in Ephesians 4 verses 31 to 32, get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Look at the story of Joseph, who was betrayed and sold by his brothers. He had reasons to hold a grudge, but he chose to forgive. He said to them, You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Genesis 50, verse 20. Joseph not only released his brothers from guilt, but also freed himself from the pain that imprisoned him. And I healed his wounds, raising him up to be a leader. I challenge you, dear one, to hand over that person who hurt you into my hands. Let me take care of it. just as I took care of Joseph. Forgiveness is not a fragile act, but a powerful manifestation of my grace in your life. When you forgive, you not only free yourself from the burden of the past, but also make room for a future filled with peace and renewal. Trust in me and allow this liberation to begin now as you give each wound to my love. Now I challenge you. Give the person who hurt you into my hands. Let me take care of it. The peace you seek is in the freedom that forgiveness brings. I know your traumas. I see the pain of loss, the abuse, the rejection you have suffered. I know that the world has hurt you, but I want you to know that these scars do not define who you are. I know every detail of what you carry. I know that the traumas you have experienced may feel as heavy as a rock in your heart, but I want you to know that these wounds do not need to define your identity. I am here to transform your pain into purpose, your scars into testimonies of resilience. When you give me your traumas, you are making room for me to do a new work in your life, like a potter shaping clay. I take what seems broken and create something beautiful and lasting. It is written, "The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all." Psalm 34, verse 19. I want you to feel that relief, that liberation. Do not carry the weight of the past. Instead, hand it over to me and watch how I can transform your story. Give everything to me, and I will give you a new heart. I will turn these scars into stories of victory. It is written, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. Ezekiel 36, verse 26. Remember David? He made mistakes, suffered the consequences, but he surrendered his broken and contrite heart to me, and I restored him. Remember how nature heals its own wounds. After a devastating fire, a forest may seem ruined, but in just a few years, new trees sprout from the soil that was once burned. So it is with you. By surrendering your traumas, allow my love and my light to enter the darkest areas of your heart. Do not be afraid to be vulnerable, for I already know your struggles, and I am here to help. In Psalm 30, verse 5, it is written, Weeping may last for the night, but joy comes in the morning. This is my desire for you. That joy replaces your tears. As you give your wounds to me, imagine receiving a new heart, filled with hope and gratitude. Feel my love wrapping around you, healing every pain, renewing your spirit, so that you can live the abundant life I promised. Now, I invite you to do the same. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and surrender your wounds to me, one by one. Feel my love healing each pain, renewing your spirit. My healing is not superficial. I go to the root of your suffering. I will remove the weight of pain and replace it with joy where there was once sadness. I am the one who does the impossible. My healing is complete and never fails. Remember what the prophet Isaiah said, The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, to heal the brokenhearted. Isaiah 61, verse 1. Just as the Good Samaritan cared for the physical and emotional wounds of that man by the roadside, I care for your wounds. I am the Good Samaritan who pours the oil of healing into your heart. Visualize this. Your wounds being healed by my divine hands. The pain that seemed unbearable being replaced by a bright light that warms your heart. I am the God of restoration. I restore hearts, lives, and also relationships. That relationship you think is impossible to fix, I can restore it. But first, I want to restore you. I want to heal your heart, bring peace to your inner being, and then, as a result, the relationships around you will also be restored. It is written, I will restore the years that the locust has eaten. Joel 2, verse 25. Look at Jacob and Esau. They were enemies, but I restored peace between them. And so I will do with you. I am the God who sees beyond wounds and misunderstandings. Every broken relationship carries with it a story, a legacy of pain and distrust, but also of hope and renewal. I want you to understand that restoration begins within you when you draw near to me, allowing my love to fill the gaps left by pain. You begin to see yourself through the lens of my unconditional love. As it is written in Romans 15, verse 13, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him. This trust not only heals your heart, but also prepares the ground for healing the relationships around you. Think of Peter, who denied me 3 times, yet I restored him, not just as a disciple, but as a cornerstone of my church. I looked at him with eyes of love and compassion, even when he felt shame and remorse. This is the depth of my grace. I am calling you to look at those who have hurt you with the same eyes of compassion. When you surrender to this vision, you allow me to work in healing your heart and reestablishing the connection with others. I want you to know that restoration is not only possible, but it is a promise I have for you. Now, start praying for that person with whom you had a misunderstanding. Even if the words seem bitter at first, keep praying and asking for my intervention. Sometimes, prayer may feel like a challenge, but I want you to remember that in doing so, you are not only seeking to restore the relationship, but you are allowing my love to work in your heart. Remember 1 John 4, verse 19. We love because he first loved us. As you place yourself in my presence, the love that I pour into you will extend to those who need it. This is the path of true restoration, and I will be with you every step of this journey. Emotional healing is a journey. There will be days when everything seems harder, but remember that I am with you every step of the way. I am your refuge and strength. When you feel weak, I will be your strength. It is written, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Psalm 46, verse 1. My presence will guide you on this healing walk. Step by step, you will see how I am transforming your wounds into healing, your pain into joy. As you advance on this healing journey, I want you to know that every step is important. Every prayer, every tear shed, and every moment of vulnerability is part of this transformation process. Remember that healing is not linear. There will be ups and downs, moments of joy and also sadness. But in each of these moments, I am by your side, holding your hand and guiding you through the storms. As it is written in 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. It is in your weaknesses that my strength becomes evident. So do not be afraid to feel weak. It is precisely in that space that I can enter and make a difference. The ongoing journey of healing is also an opportunity for growth. As you face your wounds, I invite you to look at them not only as sources of pain, but as opportunities for learning and spiritual growth. Every scar has a story, and every story is a chance to draw closer to me. Look at the example of Job, who even in his deep pain sought my face and was abundantly restored. Just as with Job, your pain will not be in vain. What you learn during this journey will enrich not only your life, but also allow you to share hope with others who are seeking healing. So keep walking, even when the path seems difficult. For I am the God who transforms every step into a testimony of my faithfulness. Now, I invite you to share your journey. If you have experienced emotional healing, share in the comments below. Your story can help others who are also seeking healing. Subscribe to the channel to continue receiving my words of love and restoration. Like this video if it touched your heart, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Remember, I will never abandon you. I am with you in every moment of this healing journey. Trust in me, for I am restoring your heart.